You better move fast. You cannot outrun. The You Run podcast has begun.
So, Robert, welcome to the show. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me on.
I'm going to kick things off going straight into the deep end. How was it to be cast as one of the most iconic horror video game characters in this latest movie?
Yeah, I think you've kind of summarized it already, really. It's I don't know, how do you describe that feeling? There's not really a word for it, is there? It's you set out on this career. I've had the acting bug since I was tiny, and it's taken me on this path that I would never have predicted and never particularly planned, but I have got so much joy and so much richness and enjoyment and amusement out of. And then you think kind of, wow, okay, that's my pinnacle, that's my thing that I'll always cherish. And then something else comes along and I'm like, oh wow, that's just as cool, or it's a whole nother world, a whole nother like corner of the industry that I never would have thought of. But yeah, it's iconic is the word that you said. He's obviously kind of been on my radar and most people's radars, whether they play the games or not, in kind of that crossover of horror and video games. Pyramid Head is kind of represents it really well. So to get to play him on screen and inhabit the costume and the character and everything it represents was great fun. Yeah.
And how was it sort of working with Christoph Gans and sort of having that director who is synonymous with this franchise now, who command you? Because I've seen a lot of the set photographs. The sets were quite elaborate. It looks like quite a creepy place to work. Like, I know the other side of the camera, it's not, but all of the sets that you're in, it's not the nicest environment to be wandering around in.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I'm a little bit like numb to that, I suppose, because almost everything I do is always within that project. It's always the creepiest corridors and the dirtiest places and the darkest, creepiest places. So yeah, maybe I'm just kind of used to that. It's quite rare that I get to turn up to work as the monster and be in the like lavish banquet hall or something. But hey, maybe one day. Yeah, the sets were beautiful. To kind of answer your first question, to link the two, Christoph is just so passionate about Silent Hill. It's just so clear from the way he talks about it. And telling, for him to do the first film so many years ago and come back and do this one now, you can see that it's still with him. It's just part of him. It's part of his kind of his kind of trail that he's leaving on this earth in terms of his art, his storytelling. So it was amazing. Again, to play Pyramid Head is one thing, and to do it with Christoph is another, because he's so, like I say, he's so passionate about the story and the character. He was open for every discussion and every idea. He had such a clear vision of what he wanted, but was also up for new ideas and new approaches and new takes. And it's collaborative and making a movie with a million people. So he was really open to that, which was great.
That's amazing as well, because that's not something you always get with directors. Some directors are very much, this is what I want. No, I'm not interested in your suggestion. Just do what I'm telling you to do. So having someone who'll listen to you if you've got an idea of how the character should be portrayed or how you should push the character to another level is something that I think would be really rewarding.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, it's funny because people often talk about that kind of director in a hypothetical sense in a very negative way, and I do see why, but also it's just another challenge for an actor at the end of the day. Like, we're not, none of us are saving lives, so it's about making a film and telling a story. And if you're working with someone who wants to run that shit in that way, then the challenge you as an actor is to go, okay, how can I do that? How can I best fulfill their vision? But yeah, luckily, I mean, in a way, it wasn't like that at all with Christoph. He was, like I say, he had a very, very clear notion, but I did a lot of research of the video game and the art and the story and all sorts. So I had my own kind of approach, I suppose, in my own body, my own physicality to bring to it, that he was very open to hearing.
I was going to ask you, did you play any of the games and sort of get an understanding of who this character was before you went in? Or had you played the games before? Or did you just go, right, I can see the artwork, I know what this is going to be straight away? How did you approach this role?
I wish I had now. I didn't play them when I was younger. I was quite a big video gamer when I was younger, and still am now. But I was too scared to play horror games when I was younger, especially. Even now, I don't know. It's funny because I love horror films, and the scarier the better. And I'm always looking for the scariest, which is a topic for another conversation. But horror games, I don't know what it is. It's something about, maybe it's like being chased. It's something about not being able to see around you, because that's how they get you in the games. Obviously, it's like something comes at you, turn and it's not, and turn and then it is there. And there's something about that when you're in control of it that it just completely freaks me out. So when I was younger, I never played them, but I was very aware of them. I had friends who did play them, and Resident Evil and all those kind of games. So I would happily watch them, because then it's like watching a movie. So I was very aware of it. I remember seeing the first film when it came out in whatever year that was, and being kind of awestruck, because again, it's such a rich world of horror. You know, it does something really well, which I love in horror, which is blending the real world with a fantasy world. It's not completely fantasy, and it's not part of this world, you know, necessarily. So I think I was always really drawn to it for that sense. It's quite fantastical and rich, the creatures and the idea, and yet it's all, you know, it's all grounded in very human experiences and emotions that we can all relate to. So yeah, then when it came to this film, I really wanted to do my research, most of all on the game. I watched just loads and loads of YouTube videos, basically, of people playing it and the cut scenes, and I read all the Reddits and all the comments about people dissecting it and analyzing it and giving their interpretation of it, because I was just really intrigued what it meant to people on every level, you know, and there's no one answer to that. And as we all know nowadays on the internet, I'm sure we'll be told that our interpretation is wrong by some people, and some people it will be exactly right. So that's, you know, the beauty. You have to hopefully find the beauty of that. Otherwise, you'd have to quit the internet forever. As much as I could of the clips, so that I could try and emulate it. You know, there's a real like video game feel to the games, obviously, because they were early consoles, and I wanted that to be a part of it, while it still is also a physical thing that moves like an actual being, not lots of pixels.
No, exactly that. And I think you're right with what you say with the internet, is you're never going to please everyone. And there are people like me who the first movie I absolutely adore. It captured all of those feelings of dread that I had playing the video game as a kid. And I recently just started playing Silent Hill 2 in the lead up to this, because they've just remastered that. And I'm like, I'll download that. And even now, as a 40-year-old man, I'll take a corner in that game and the controller's like thrown up in my hand, and I'm like, oh my God. And it's something that I think Christoph seems to capture that and put that sense of impending doom into his movie. So you always feel on edge. It always feels like there's something that's going to happen, and he doesn't just drop it on you straight away. He teases it and makes you wait, and then when he does drop it, it's that sort of popcorn in your face moment as you jump up.
Dread is a really good word for it. You just use that. And actually, I'm working on this play at the moment, and it's a ghost story as well. So it's a scary theatre show, which is rarer, but a really wonderful thing when it's done well. And the director has some really interesting things to say about jump scares that I'd never heard this interpretation before, where he said the jump scares aren't just about scaring the audience. They're about a release of tension that you have built up as part of the means of telling the story. So you have to, in his opinion, you have to kind of time them and earn them in the correct ways, because people know if they've had been cheated into a jump scare, if you know what I mean. Yeah. And those are obviously great. Sometimes you get like trick ones in film or theatre to kind of mess with you or trick you or lure you into a false sense of security. But the main ones, he said, you build up so much tension with the music and with the eeriness and with the atmosphere and the set decoration and all sorts, that you have to allow it to be released so that the story can continue. And I think that applies really well to Silent Hill, because as you said, there's just a lot of like dread and eeriness and doom and impending, just kind of despair, I think, is a kind of good.
It is that kind of environment. Yeah, it gives you that sort of, oh, this is dark kind of feel to it. Going on to the stage production you're in, though, what stage production are you in, and where are you right now? Because I keep hearing what I think is a train.
Yes, apologies. That's the train line outside my house, which I don't think about them anymore. I kind of they're my lullaby now. I'm in a play called A Ghost in Your Ear at the Hampstead Theatre in London, which unfortunately only has a few more weeks of the run. In fact, I think when this is out, it might be in the past. But very much worth looking into to see what you missed if you missed it. It's wonderful. It's by Jamie Armitage, and it's basically it's a guy recording a ghost story in a sound recording studio. And the play is set in the studio. It's behind glass, and it's all said into a binaural microphone, which is shaped like a human head. Binaural, and the audience all wear headphones. Binaural sound is where the microphone places sound in 3D space. So if he whispers in the left ear, you hear it in the left ear of your headphones, and then if he moves around it moves. So it really feels like there's someone moving around with you, and you can like get closer and further away. And so he's telling this story as if, well, he's recording an audiobook, and then it's a ghost story. So I'll leave it at that. Hopefully it will have further life somewhere else one day.
That sounds incredible. That's right up my street. That is.
Yeah, it's great. There seems to be quite a swell in horror theatre in London at the moment. I saw Paranormal Activity on stage just before the new year, which was so good. Some stage tricks. Obviously you get jump scares and movie magic in film. Obviously, you know, there's practical effects and there's VFX effects and filming tricks and things. And then stage tricks are just a whole nother thing. They're more like magic. They're like illusions. You get illusionists who will come in and do stage tricks. And some of the ones in our show and in Paranormal Activity are like jaw-dropping, really, because it's happening right in front of your eyes, sometimes only a couple of meters away.
Yeah, and I think that's something really magic about theatre that I find is more magic in theatre than it is in film, because in theatre it happens there and then in front of your eyes, and you've got no time to sort of dissect how they've done it. But when it's done in film, you know there's been cut, no, let's do that again, cut, no, let's do that again, and then there's all the movie magic that goes with it. So every time I've been to the theatre, like I saw Woman in Black not that long ago, and that where you get the woman in black appears in the audience sort of 10 rows down from you, like, how on earth I'm sat here, at no point did I see the woman in black make her way over there, but now she's screaming at me. And I always find theatre very immersive, a lot more immersive than film.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, like just by definition, in a way, you're sat in a room squeezed in with people all around you. So it is immersive. I've done a lot of immersive theatre, which is its own branch of theatre, I suppose, in my past, which was still extremely popular nowadays. Lots of events nowadays all over the planet are kind of immersive events. But that kind of started, if we rewind a few years, with a big surge in immersive theatre, which was these companies like Punch Drunk and Secret Theatre, Secret Cinema, who do these shows where you are put into the action. And some of them are in different ways. If you're in a Punch Drunk show, the performers don't interact with you. It just happens around you and they move around and run off and you can chase after them. In Secret Cinema, it's very much about the audience are part of it and talking to the actors and can shape the story even, and can get dragged into rooms and given missions and all sorts of stuff. So I've done lots of that, and it's amazing. It's like skills as an actor that are completely different, obviously, for regular theatre or film, and it's so immediate. And you get these people who it's play, it's real. All acting is play in a way, but immersive theatre, improvised theatre is such immediate play because you just have to like do or die, really. Like you can't just be like, oh, sorry, can I do that again? If you're talking to the audience, you have to just go for it. So it's good fun.
Yeah, and you've done a lot of. I've said a lot of your work you've done involves a lot of makeup effects and a lot of prosthetics. Obviously, you've done Rings of Power,
Mm.
which was a lot of prosthetics, and you've now done Return to Silent Hill, and you've done lots of other works as well. Do you like the prosthetics, or is it a real slog? Is it sort of hours and hours every day, or are you kind of numb to it now?
I don't think I would have gone this far if I did not like it. I just don't think. I mean, I only say that because I have seen people put on a makeup and last a few hours and go, "Nah, take this off me, please," or like literally peel it off their face, which is not advised. Don't do that anyway. It's like a love-hate relationship with prosthetics, because there's always a moment where I'm like, I'm never going to do this again, but I also love it. I love the transformation of it. I think it links to that. I've always loved watching performances on stage or screen where they're completely transformative. You know, people like Gary Oldman, or who just like, and not in a creature sense, I mean, but they just if you get a collage of all the roles he or other performers like Tilda Swinton have played, they're just unrecognizable, you know. And it's like some of it is a physical transformation, but a lot of it is just the energy and the walk and the teeth and the whatever and the accent. And I just love that. I think that's always just really grasped my attention. And so creature work is like a real extreme version of that, I suppose. It's like, how far can we completely transform this tall, gangly blonde man into something unrecognizable? And then how much can I bring to it? Because people are often quite bemused when I open my mouth, because often I can look like this horrifying beast, or like a massive brute thing, or like a vampire or something, and then they'll shout cut, and they'll be like, "Ooh, did I hit the mark? I'm so sorry. Did I bump into the lights?" This looks like very polite British man underneath it all. It was funny on Penny Dreadful, which was my first creature job 13 years ago, because I was painted head to toe. So I they gave me like a silk kimono to wear that wouldn't rub the paint, and it had like blue lace trim.
Yeah.
So it was the least threatening thing. We'd finished this horrible. I was so like animalistic and bestial and like snarling and spitting and drooling and blood and fangs and all of it. And then they'd call cut, and yeah, the British guy would ask for tea with his little powder blue kimono on. That was like halfway down my sides.
That's fabulous. The thing is, though, you're not just creature work. Like, you've got a lot of things coming up, and there's one that you're the lead role in that I want to talk about, and I'm going to let you tell us all about the new film you have coming, because it's something very much away from what you've done previously.
It is. It's very exciting. It's a film called Medora, Empress of the Badlands, and it is a true story. It's from 1880s North Dakota. A Frenchman called the Marquis de Merez, Antoine, he turned up in North Dakota in the middle of nowhere when there was nothing in the Badlands where he was, and decided to make his fortune in cattle. So he built a slaughterhouse, he built all these paddocks, he reared all these cattle, he made a fortune. But then the local cowboys and the local townsfolk kind of basically got quite jealous and tried to kind of sabotage his business and brought him down, and it ended in a quite a fiery way in a very small amount of time. He was besotted with his wife Medora, who he named the town after that he built. And so it's a biopic. It's the story of this man, and I play the Marquis. Again, it was so special. I was the lead role. I was a human being. There were no monsters in sight, which occasionally I did miss. I only had like 20-30 minutes in the makeup chair, and it really threw me for the first few weeks. But again, in a way, it was its own transformation. You know, I wanted to research him. I wanted to research the time period. We had these incredible tailor-made 1880s costumes by the incredible costume department. I dyed my hair really dark brown. I grew a big curly mustache, which I've never done before, because normally it's like get rid of all hair that you have. So yeah, it was its own transformation. And I was in North Dakota in the Badlands for 2 months, riding horses and shooting rifles and sword fighting and all sorts. It was magical, really magical.
Oh, that's amazing. When does that come out? When can we get to see that?
It's going to be out in mid-April, I think in in Medora to start with, and then it will come out elsewhere after that. So it's mid-April onwards. Very exciting.
That's amazing. Your career is on a trajectory that I can see is just going like this. And if anyone goes and looks through your IMDb credits, it is not like many actors where it's an up and down. It's literally everything you do is taking you higher and higher and higher. And there's something that I've heard a whisper of that I asked you if we could talk about before. You're going to be working with Mr. Ty West.
I sure am. Talk about horror icon.
Yeah, when I saw that you were working with Ty West, I was instantly, what movie is that? And I had to do a fair bit of digging to uncover this, because this, as we're recording, isn't even on IMDb yet. You're going to be in Ebenezer, Ty West's Christmas movie.
Ebenezer, yeah, his take on A Christmas Carol, with Johnny Depp playing the title role, Ebenezer Scrooge, and I'm playing the ghost of Christmas Future, who is, again, I mean, we're talking a completely different zone of horror, I suppose. If Pyramid Head is video game corner of horror, this is like classical Dickensian Victorian horror. One of the greats, and talk about dread as well. I read the book years ago, but I've just reread it really recently, and the chapter, it's so worth reading, even if you're not interested in the world. It's such a short book, and the way he paints dread with the arrival of the ghost of future, who doesn't speak and is this ominous Grim Reaper-like presence, is another iteration of how we paint this kind of doom. So yeah, that's very exciting indeed, and to step into a kind of an iconic role with some incredible performers. The whole cast is unbelievable, so that should be very exciting too.
I mean, being able to be directed by Ty West and work with the likes of Johnny Depp, like that's huge, and I'm really pleased for you. Like, everything I looked at what you've done, literally everything you've been in, I like. And every role you've delivered, I'm like, I really like that character. I really like that character. And I'm really excited for what comes next for you. When we're recording this, I've not seen the film yet, because we're recording this prior to the release. I'm at the first screening available. And I'm excited. I'm excited, one, to see what you can bring to Pyramid Head, because he's kind of underutilized a lot throughout the games and everything else. And I know the charm of him is that he is sporadic and he is the overarching baddie, and when he arrives it's like, oh, we're all in trouble now. And I'm interested to see how you bring that character to life, because I don't think a lot of people realize, and from the angle you're sat now, you are a really big guy. Like, you are a tall guy, and you're a big guy to take on that role, and it just works.
Yes, yeah. I think I'm 6'5" and ish and a bit. So that has been, a big component of the career I've had. I'm not going to do myself down and say it's only that. Hopefully, it's some kind of talent and resilience too. But I think that practically it is a huge part of it with creature work. And yeah, this one was very different actually, in a way. Like I am very tall. I'm not super massive. So actually, a lot of the roles I've done, especially when I was a bit younger, are really like gangly and spindly. This guy is like a real juggernaut. He's kind of he's a brute, and a lot of it was a lot of my work physically was all about the weight of it. The sword, the helmet, his own physicality. You don't want any lightness, any kind of flightiness, or like floatiness if you're talking Laban efforts. So that's what I tried to bring to it, was, and that's the fun for me. I worked with Roberto Campanella, who I want to give a shout out to, because he was the movement director on the film. So he did all the creature movement, and he played Pyramid Head in the first film with Christoph, and the other Silent Hill film as well. So I mean, who better? Who else possibly could have been better to be in my ear and be kind of tutoring me through how to bring the character to life.
Yeah, what a mentor to have. That's just sort of that's the dream mentor. instead of someone who's never done it, you've got someone who's done it twice and done it well twice, which is amazing.
Really.
Is there anything you would like to tell us about, or that you would like to plug out into the world for everyone to go and see? Is there anything you want people to focus on? Obviously, Return to Silent Hill. We know that's the one that you want everyone to go and see now. But what else is there that you want people to focus on about you and about your career?
Great question. You know, no one's ever asked me that before. I mean, we've talked about other projects that I've got coming up. There is another film that will be at some point called Legacy, which is by another kind of film horror icon, David Slade. So I won't say much more about that, but that's in the pipeline as well. What else would I say? I mean, I love it. I suppose this isn't really answering your question, but I love it when I meet people at conventions or wherever, and people obviously want to talk about Silent Hill or Lord of the Rings or Wheel of Time, even, and things like that. But when people come with the kind of really niche stuff that I've done over the years, that is so joyous. So I've done films like The Jack in the Box and Boys from County Hell. I mean, there's even a film called The Nightman of Nevermore. It was, I think, literally the first job I ever did, which is like a kind of alien movie. So every now and then someone will come, or like an episode of Red Dwarf I did. So people, there's always fans of these things that pop up, and I love it when people talk about that stuff. It's good fun.
Yeah, Jack in the Box is another movie that I actually really like. I watched that not that long ago, and it wasn't until prepping to interview you that I realized that was you. I was like, oh my God, that's another one that you've done. You are at is it Horrified you're at this year?
Yes, it is in May, I believe.
Yeah, which is Crawley, I believe.
Yes, that's right. I can't remember the dates off the top of my head, but Horrified. Yeah.
So if there are any listeners in the UK who want to go and meet Robert, go head over to Horrified, buy your tickets, and go and meet Robert there.
Your cosplay as well. I'd love, like, you know, the odd people who've come in cosplay of something I've done. There's the most incredible, actually a shout out, I'll do the most incredible Eelfin cosplay from the Wheel of Time that someone has done, which it was a while ago now, but that was incredible. So when people come in any cosplay of things, that's obviously incredibly exciting. And Pyramid Head is obviously quite an iconic one for all the cosplays. I see them all on Instagram as well. Like, I get tagged in lots or sent lots, but even the ones I don't get sent, I see them and I will find them, and I save them all in a little folder. So
that's amazing.
So yeah, I love them.
Thank you very, very much for joining us. It's been an honor to have you on. I wish you all the luck as your career continues to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And yeah, thank you very much for joining us, because I imagine in 5 years' time, when you're lavishing the leading roles in Hollywood, you won't have time for us small podcasts anymore.
Hey, now I'll be back. Write to me and I'll be back.
That's fabulous. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Enjoy the film, everyone. Thank you.